You see, our goal together is realization of the real self. And what is that realization? To think, to speak and act in peace, happiness, love, and wisdom, because it is our real nature. Because it is our real nature. Or we can use the word to evolve and help everyone to evolve. But why, how the others evolve? You live your life, and the people around you will definitely evolve. It is a natural process. You don't react, you don't blame, you don't complain. In your relationship, obviously you are helping others to evolve. We don't follow the ignorance of the society. It is perfectly natural. So when we live in ignorance and blame the world created by the existence, the world is always beautiful. We create our own world, that creates the problem. That is going to be the very important lessons from today. Take one simple example. The person remains the person all the time. That person becomes the brother or sister or mother or daughter. Or take only one person. He is a brother, he is a father, he is a CEO. So the different roles that is created by our mind. So the kingdom of the mind is there. And that mind creates the duality, division. Duality and division results into conflict and confusion. And conflict and confusion put us into ignorance. And there the problem comes. For one person, person B is good. For the another person, the person B is bad. So it is my own creation. But why I create such a ignorance in my mind? Because of likes and dislikes, because of emotional dependence. And it is not going to go away easily. We have to go deeper. We have to understand that the duality and the division created by the existence has no problem. The existence do not create any problem to us. The world around us do not create any problem to us. It is when the mind creates that duality, division, it enters into the conflict and the confusion, and we start living in ignorance, and there the problem comes. Does the existence says that Stephen is bad and Girish is good? Existence doesn't say. I create my own preferences, likes and dislikes. And it happens the moment we wake up in the morning until we fall into deep sleep. That is why our masters talk about living from moment to moment, consciously, so that there is so so once we start living consciously, we evolve consciously. Where is the way? Whatever we are doing. It is a self awareness program. It is an emotional freedom program. It is knowledge oriented program, not the ignorance oriented program. It is the conscious evolution and transformation program. It is a unity program instead of a duality program. Where is self-awareness program? It is discernment and discernment. What is emotional freedom program? It is dispassion. It is non-knowledge oriented program. Why it is knowledge oriented program? The moment I recognize that the peace and happiness are within me, they are my essential nature, and I keep aside the kingdom of the mind that creates lot of duality, conflict, and confusion, I am already there. So this, what I said self-awareness program. Yes. So self-awareness program where we discern, we are going to discern from today and the following sessions, that we will discern the duality created by the existence and present in the world has no problem at all. It is when I create a duality, conflict, and confusion in my mind, I create a separate world than the world that we should perceive. So there is a discernment. The duality in the world do not create any problem. The duality, conflict, and confusion created by my mind is a problem. Did you get it? Are you getting a sense? It's not a big deal. As an individual, if I create a duality and a conflict with the world outside, it is my mental problem. I lack the cognitive ability to perceive the beautiful world, and then I fall, frustrate myself, and enter into ignorance. So we will understand, we will pick up the finer threads of the world around us, that how this world around us helps me all the time. There is a duality. There is your home and my home. It's a duality. There is no problem. See that? The duality by the existence. You have a certain place where your home is, where my home is. They both are separate. There is no problem. So how the mind creates the duality? Can you think of it? Your house is better than mine. See that? Who created this? My mind. My house is better than yours. Do you see that? My shirt is better than yours. My nose is better than yours. And a long list. We do it by default. We do it so heavily conditioned mind that it appears natural. And that natural makes us unnatural. Are you understanding? Because all experiences takes place in the mind. Good or bad, likes or dislikes, sorrow and happiness, profit and loss, victory and defeat. All experiences takes place in the mind. So it is my mind perceives the profit and loss, pain and pleasure, sorrow and happiness, likes and dislikes. Existence remains as it is. There is no difference. There is no comparison. There is no blame. So we as an individual are fail to interact with the world of duality outside by creating our own duality, conflict, and confusion. You understand it, you are in meditation 24 by 7. You misunderstand it, there is an error in perception. You fall, you fail, you frustrate. Then the mind constantly dictates our thinking, our speaking, our working. It influences our personal, professional, social, and family lives. And that causes so much of pain. All the fight and the crime and the reaction and anxiety and the depression belongs to this area. The duality, the first I created duality in my mind, but the duality is already outside. No, that is not causing any problem. I told you an example of a house. Your clothes, my body, your body, no problem. But I put some spices into it. And that spices causes the problem. And that spices is nothing but the impurity of the mind. So by understanding, we are going to remove the impurity of the mind caused by the ignorance, caused by the error in perception, caused by the wrong notion, and all the three, whether you say ignorance, error in perception, or wrong notion, is the result of perception of the duality created by the mind, believing in it, and acting on it. Sam did not respond to me. No, last he did. No, just an example. Sam, this is an example. Sam. Let him not respond. Mind, calm down. Honey does not respond. So now it's a time to say goodbye. Look, see. Who created this? So I don't see what entails what existence is pointing me to. I don't see the point of that. Oh, in this relationship, is there any chance for me to evolve? No, I blame and complain. That comes from the mind. And once we go deeper into this duality by the existence and the duality by the individual mind. Are you understanding that? Duality by the existence, we have five elements: space, air, fire, earth, water. The duality, your home and my home, your clothes and my clothes, your body and my body. That does not create any problem. Do you see that? What, where the problem lies? The way I create a duality in my mind and then I start living my life. I feel negative vibes with that person. I don't want to stay with him. You are such a great guy who always feels negative vibrations from others. What a great guy. No, I'm a very spiritual guy. That's why I feel the negative vibration. Come on. I don't care to respect the existence. So the existence will take revenge from you. You see, we are coming very close to we are picking up the threads of that existence to become one with the existence. That is what the realization is. This guy is good guy and this guy is bad guy. Okay. So bad guy is also living in the same world, and the good guy is also living in the same world. Where is the problem? Emotional bondage. So, who created this? My mind. I'm just giving an introduction. It's a long understanding. So, once we understand this point and the mind is clear, mind says, let me accept the duality in the world as it is. You are rich, let me accept it. Let me accept the world as it is. Who prevents me? Mind. How? Error in perception. Do you see that? And so when the mind has its own kingdom in place in our life, then I always complain, I do not get what I want. What what I do not want, I get in abundance. So what I get in abundance, my honey is not okay, my house is not okay, my body is not okay, nothing is okay in the world. So where you are living? We don't accept that. Who does not accept the mind? Why the mind does not accept? Because the mind has created duality. So I start living in my own created world. I don't appreciate the world around me. No one supports me. Why anyone should support you? Why? I do not want to live better. The earth will be lighter. It has become heavy because you have constantly been nagging, living the life of laziness and craziness and anger and hesitation and aggression, even on the small issues. I'm just giving an introduction. Do you see that? So, when this mind does not have a single feel of complaint and blame throughout the day, check your day that day. You are full of energy. You are already in peace and calmness. It happens to everyone. It's a normal. We can recognize that. So because there is no blame, there is no complaint, uh, there are no you do not keep on thinking what I want I do not get, and what I do not want I'm getting in abundance. When you have no criteria set by the mind in ignorance, creating the duality, conflict, and confusion, that day you are already into that state. I believe you are getting it. Say yes, even if you are not getting it. So it's okay. We'll talk about it in detail. The world, we perceive the duality. There are mountains and there are rivers and there are oceans. The five elements are there. Every human body is unique. Every place is unique. Unique means the duality is there. And that duality presented before our mind by the world has no problem at all. Again, I'm repeating for the sake of understanding. But the way the mind creates a duality is the problem. We have to remove the duality created by the mind. We have to accept the duality created by the world. Can any medication help you to remove the duality of the mind? Answer is no. Do we have any medication to turn defeat into the victory? No. Sorrow to happiness? No. Pain to pleasure? No. Why no? The mind has created a perception of the pleasure, avoiding pain. So pain is already hidden in the pleasure. Mind has created a perception of happiness, avoiding sorrow. The sorrow is already hidden there. So the happiness will revert back. It will become sorrow. The pleasure will become pain. Victory will have to become defeat. Look at our great Elon Musk. Look at it closely. The world offers me to learn. I'm living life daily, thinking, speaking, and working. All are infected with the ignorance more dangerous than the COVID virus. So, Eastern wisdom says remove that ignorance of the duality created by the mind that creates a different world than the world that we perceive outside is the cause of all the problems and the suffering. So, by understanding, the more and more we remove that, we remove the ignorance basically, you will see the life moves into calmness and peace. Now, I've been talking about ignorance is error in perception, seeing what is not true as true, having a wrong notion. So, by daily listening and learning the principles of Eastern wisdom, no other branch of the science can tell you. Oh, you have more money than me, so the society tells us to compete, to fight, not to prosper. So, when we are constantly listening and learning these principles, reflecting on them, replacing the thoughts, the feeling, and the emotions, the way we perceive the world outside, the life changes. Why? Because the Eastern wisdom offers the subjective solution of subjective problems. Science offers the objective solution of subjective problems. Did you understand that point? Modern science, society, culture, religion, cult, dogma, belief, they offer objective solutions to the subjective problems of my anxiety, duality, conflict, failure, fear, frustration. It is not possible. It will not help. It will not help. So, if we summarize that, what are the dangers of this duality created by the mind? So, I'm using another word for the impurity. We are going a little deeper. Simply talking about impurity. Okay, my mind is impure, I'm angry and agitated, but I don't see what is the cause of that anger and agitation. It is the duality. I see the duality in the world outside, so I create my own duality. I start living in my own shell, and that creates a lot of challenges. So we are going deeper. From the impurity, we are understanding it is caused by the duality. Duality is based on likes and dislikes, preferences, and it creates a conflict and confusion in my mind. So all together, I'm living in my own world of kingdom of mind starts ruling me. These problems, no, this impurity or this duality causes lot of problems in my personal, professional, social, family, personal life. Competition is okay. We will talk about it in detail. I'm just briefing it. Competition is okay, but jealousy is impurity. Disbelief, doubt, suspicion, hatred in the family, society, extreme selfishness. These are the results in the mind. So the mind tries to move with the kindness and humility while keeping these factors of the impurities inside. We don't change. That is one of the major reasons we do not change in our life. Think. So it demands a lot of thinking and contemplation. I told you last time that I went to the dentist and she is hygienist. So she was talking about. I asked her that how much. Oh yeah, I found a soulmate. So how much you trust? 50%. So I said, what are the other 50% area? Where? What do you have in your mind? No, I have some doubt and suspicion. But you don't start with yourself. I start with what the mind has created, a duality. 50% trust, 50. So I went last year, yeah, last week also. So how he is doing? No, he was playing tennis and he fell down. So now he's okay. So I said, how your mind responded? 50% with the doubt and 50% with the belief. She is quite a wonderful girl. She started laughing. She said, I know I have to think of it. See, this is the duality. The more and more duality we create, and the moment you create a duality, its mind is attacked by the strong likes and dislikes. Instantly, you are creating impressions of likes and dislikes that goes unnoticed. It accumulates, it creates a certain pattern of behavior and personality and attitude, and then you start living in that way. You have started the duality today. After 5 years, it will show you the impact in your life, in your relationship, in your personal and professional life. I can tell you. It's a warning. We are going to understand that part of the journey. And what happens? Simply, the mind veils the real self. That is why we have to drop this duality. Our mind, it has created its own world. It lives in ignorance and it veils the real self. So intellect says, I have understood, and the mind says, I will go back to the same thing. Little deeper. Little deeper, we will go into that area. Let us close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Position of the body, eyes are closed. Position of the body. Check. I told you last time that this body indicates the motionlessness of the body indicates that the mind does not want to run after the duality and a conflict and the confusion it has created. So that struggle comes to an end. When the struggle comes to an end in the body, that struggle is created by the mind. Means we are not settled in the knowledge, and then we go to the being comfortable. Being comfortable. And I have given you such a simple way. You look at the neck joint. So you have an experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. What is that sensation of comfort and steadiness? There is no duality. There is no conflict in the mind. Means what? We are aware. So in the first 2 or 3 steps, you are not doing anything. You just get a pulse of the mind. Mind, no more duality, please. Move the mind on the shoulder joint. Be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind. Move the mind on the hip joint. Be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body. So when I say you have to go deeper into with understanding. So when I say move the mind on the entire body, you are aware of the body. Fact is that you are already aware of the body. Before I say that, move the mind on the entire body. So there you explore the duality and the conflict present in any cell, any joint in the body. You don't care that. That brings us to the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And at the same time, you are carefree also. Carefree is just opposite of the duality and the division created by the mind and living in its own shell. I have been explaining differently that we invite unwell. When we say, when I sit in meditation, I never think of those thoughts that enters into the mind. No, it is because that the mind is living in duality and the division created by itself, and it has an accumulated impressions deep inside that triggers the similar thoughts and feeling which you claim are unwelcome, uninvited. I never thought of it. Now that understanding will help you go deeper. Okay, it means any thought that comes, what should I do? Do nothing. Remain indifferent. Watch, be an observer, be a witness. That every master says, be a witness, be a seer, be a knower. And then we use a strong tool. We say, okay, let any thought remain as they are. We will go with the mantra Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Pay attention, any or every mantra has to follow. You recite the mantra mentally and then we go to the meaning. Let everyone be in the state of the well-being. That is the meaning. So during the practice, you place the knowledge in the mind. How well-being, by default, the world or the existence outside has put a state of well-being in every living species on the earth planet. That is a knowledge and understanding. So what is going to happen? The mind will start dropping the duality. I'll tell you later. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Meaning, but what exactly is the peace? Peace is a state of consciousness, like the infinite space. So when the space is present everywhere, the peace is also present anywhere. The duality of the mind prevents me to realize that peace. That understanding will go a long way. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Meaning, we already know the meaning, but for the sake of, we always should repeat the mantra with the chanting of the mantra, so it triggers the brain physically. We say that, the word influences the brain, waves. Then we go for the meaning, that is little deeper. We go for the knowledge, still deeper. So let there be a completeness in all. So we are not praying for a completeness. We are not favoring anyone. We are recognizing that if the existence is perfect, then we are also perfect. We have to find that sign of completeness and the wholeness. Why? To drop the duality. There is the duality, so there is a desire. I'll go at length. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. So knowledge guided by the peace, well-being and the wholeness results into every moment auspicious. I told you, the moment that duality is not present on a single day, you will find that you are flying in the air. You are full of energy, you are calm, you are peace, you are full of energy. Even someone says you are crazy, you laugh. It doesn't affect you. And it happens. It happens to everyone. The existence is always helping us. We don't recognize. So, yes, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, you are aware of the steadiness in the body. And start breathing. Quick and short breath from the chest. There should be an expansion of the chest and contraction of the chest. And dropping Om Shanti. You're rubbing Om Shanti casually with love and care, slowly, but your breath shortened quick through both the nostrils with an expansion and contraction of the chest. Only for 2 minutes we are doing. Expansion and the contraction of the chest by breathing into the rib cage continues with Om Shanti and the stillness in the body. The mind will pose lot of challenges. Mind will. Why? Now we will pick up the word duality. Mind wants to change, but it does not want to change the way the Eastern wisdom wants. It wants to change the way it wants to keep that duality intact. And that is the problem. And that is why we claim, oh, it's too much. Is money too much? No, the duality. And stop it, do nothing. Just check the mind is absorbed deeper within with the knowledge intact of the Om Shanti. Continues. Yeah, dropping Om Shanti deep inside the forehead in this space. So you don't offer time for the mind to think of blame, complain, too much, too less. We need that. You will discover that. And now keep, you are already doing Om Shanti, body is already in the state of steadiness, and start breathing from the belly through the nostrils. It's a long breath. You inhale and the belly expands. You exhale and the belly contracts. We're engaging the mind in the three types of the breathing. So we'll get some clue and idea and understanding that how far we can go, or the mind keeps on objecting to it. Don't force too much, but do it consciously. A little tingling and the numbness and freezing is okay. With a disclaimer, and stop this, do nothing, remain as you are, except the Om Shanti continues. dropping Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. Body remains steady. You find a sense of calm and relax because the mind has dropped its duality and the world created by the mind. That is very important. And now, looking inside, keep looking inside the forehead, Om Shanti. Now you should have a long and the deep breath both from the belly and the chest, through both the nostrils. No worries, you're making a hissing sound of the breath. Don't shy. You're doing it for yourself. You want a change in your life. Now stop it. Do not think. Start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Follow the singing of Om Shanti while inhaling, moving the mind from the center of the forehead, now center of the top of the head, crown of the head, down to the tailbone. Om Shanti. And when you are exhaling, this time your breath is deep, it is silent, it is slow. No noise should be there. The noise is not there. Om Shanti. So we dropped Om Shanti in the previous three types of the breathing. And when we are doing the deep, silent, and slow breathing, it is all about Om Shanti. It's the deeper. with the breath. So we are keeping track of this. There, the breath in the Om Shanti sinks in the spine. Or in the spine means in the space. In the space simply means those who are highest level of seekers. That simply means knowledge. What knowledge? The duality is not taking over the mind, creating its own world. That's why I stress on the space. And drop this deep, silent, and slow breath. Just play with the triangle deep inside the heart, pointing upward. Just play with every side. The mind moves. And now you see that here we are bringing both of them together. The short Om Shanti on each side of the triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Short Om Shanti or Shantoham. And check. The mind is playing and enjoying with it. Then you look deep inside the triangle, inside the triangle, moving in the cave of the heart. Om Shanti. And then find, consciously know, cognition. You should have a cognitive ability that it is absorbed, so you remain absorbed until the mind, until the mind, until the mind, you know it, what I want to say, until the mind returns and it says no, no, you say yes with the triangle. So the mind has no chance to bluff you, if I say so. Shanti. Om Shanti, diving deep into the cave of your heart. Om Shanti, the mantra also dissolves cognition, consciously knowing it. What we are doing can get you the result 1,000 times faster than simply moving unconsciously, habitually, doing practice every day. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. How are you, Stephen?
Good. I I always enjoy the lesson, so thank you. Today, I see, and lately, more so in the past week, I've had a lot more of the mind stuff going on of thoughts coming and trying to live wisely. So in today's meditation, I took on the approach that it is what it is, and just watch and see the experience and take it for whatever it was. And there were a lot of thoughts to begin with, and the mantra calmed it down. The breathing was real good, as we followed through those pieces, and things just kept coming, and I recognized it, and I was like, nope, where it's going, I'm letting it go, and it immediately dissipates. So I get it when you apply it properly. And then I just started to feel the coldness in the body, and I'm like saying to myself, okay, I'm not my body. Let's not worry about that. And we got to the triangle, and once I got into the triangle, I mean, like usually my meditations, I'm there right away, but this one was, I couldn't get there until you got us to the middle of that triangle. And there was a moment in which I actually believe I stopped breathing because
Yeah.
I had gasped. I gasped for air, and then I came out of my heart center, and it was like, ooh, okay. And then I became focused on that. And then it was difficult. It was challenging to get back into that middle area after that gasp of breath. But other than that, it was just a moment of experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. You see the cognitive ability of Stephen, he explains each and every step. So that also indicates, now that depends on the different levels of each individual and their ability, and it comes from the past impression also. So, but it's a beautiful understanding. When we have that knowledge that all the thoughts that are coming based on the duality and a division created by the mind, and that mind wants to live in its own shell, in its own world, is all the problem. That's why we are doing the breathing, we are dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, then we are moving the mind inside the cave of the heart with the long Om Shanti. So we are picking up the threads. So when you recognize the way Stephen is recognizing, definitely it's going to help you progress. Sam, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. Was dealing with some pain in the body at the beginning. It dissipated throughout the meditation,
Good.
and feel good.
Feel good. So if you find trouble attending the session here, I could see a lot of movement at the back. Is your mind distracted to those moments, those movements?
Hopefully, they won't be happening a lot.
No, I'm just concerned about you, not me, Nobody disturbs me. So, how are you, Rakesh? Good. And then we'll go to yes.
Sir. So each type of breathing was taking me to a deeper state.
Yeah.
And when I reached the triangle, I felt like I do not exist. It's just awareness.
Just to know, and that's
Uh,
beautiful.
yes,
Yeah,
that
there
is
is
what.
one thing who says, I do not exist, that one exists. So it's going beyond the body and the mind in the space. Beautiful. How are you, uh, Brandy? And
I'm
then
good, thank you. My meditation was pretty clean and deep, and that was especially welcome because to the point of your lesson, I came in with a lot of realized duality in the mind this morning. So it was, sometimes it seems like the more duality and the more mind stuff I have, the deeper my meditation can be, which is, a nice trade-off if it's got to be that way sometimes.
yeah, yeah. You see that, I can, it's a, which master? I'll tell you the name of the master. So he explained in almost 150 verses that how the duality is the cause of all the suffering. You see, the duality exists Are duality created by the world outside the body? Physical body is one layer, breath is the second layer, mind is. I have to accept it. I have to accept. It comes from the world. But the duality created by the mind that reshapes and changes my behavior, attitude, reaction, and response, that needs to be dropped. Did you get it? We'll talk about it. Such an interesting journey. The more and more we understand, you are talking to someone and the mind has already created a duality. Look at this guy, he's showing. That has nothing to do with me. Let him show. Let him do it. What I have to do with it? You see, the duality from moment to moment we create. How are you, Terry, my friend?
I'm good. I'm okay. It was quiet.
Quiet. Good. Good.
I just did everything. What was right, what wasn't right. It was all listed, irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I saw the triangle,
Good.
and I decided to sit up today.
That is
That was
much better.
a little bit harder, but
Yeah.
it was not that hard. A little bit distracting,
Yeah.
but it was fine.
Distraction, little bit harder, is the perception of the mind after creating a duality.
Because I noticed the body.
Yes, you notice the. So the mind has noticed the body, and mind has a previous impression that if I keep on lying down, it will be better.
But I just
Mind is such a crazy stuff, it creates such a duality. And from there you have to pick up the way you answer to whom the mind talks the most to me. I talk to the mind the most, and the mind talks to me the most, and it is always full of duality.
Well, I think about that thing where you say, "Get up, my horse."
Yeah.
Because I have to say that to myself
You
a
have to say
lot.
to that. My master used to say, she remembers. Do you remember, Sam?
That's what I have to do every day. So
My
I
master
just do
used to
it.
talk for a couple of hours, and he's such a heavy body, and then he used to smile and he said, "Get up on my horse." So body was equated to the horse, totally separate. Now it's time for you to get up. Any
Sometimes,
question?
sometimes I think I can't get up, and I always can.
You see the duality created by the mind? That level of awareness we want. Sometime I can, sometime I can't. You are not the body. So that is the nature of such a beautiful journey. When you when you go deeper and you get the knowledge, and with that knowledge you see the mind, you see your life. Ah, it changes everything. Terry, you want to say something more?
Um,
So
I
the
don't know.
moment you recognize the duality, what happens? You recognize the duality, it is gone. It's gone. That is the power of the knowledge.